Did you know that the choices we make every day can add years to our lives or take them away? It's true. We often think about big life events shaping our future, but it's the small things we do daily that really make a difference. Today, we're going to talk about 6 habits that might be making your life shorter. And trust me, number 4 will really surprise you. These aren't just any habits. They're sneaky ones that many of us do without even realizing how much they affect us. But here's the good news. Once you know about them, you can change them and start living a healthier, happier life. Now, you might be thinking, oh great, another list of things I shouldn't do. But stick with me, because this isn't just about living longer. It's about living better. It's about waking up each day feeling good, having more energy, and really enjoying your life. And the best part? It's not as hard as you might think. Small changes can make a big difference. So, are you ready to find out what these habits are and how they might be affecting you? Let's dive in. Here's the thing. If we don't pay attention to these habits, we might miss out on so much. Think about it. What if you could have more energy to play with your kids or grandkids? What if you could feel more peaceful and less stressed every day? What if you could wake up feeling refreshed instead of tired? All of this is possible when we take care of ourselves the right way. But it's not just about the physical stuff. These habits affect our spiritual side too. When we're not taking care of ourselves, it's harder to connect with others, to feel grateful, or to find meaning in our lives. It's like trying to see clearly through a dirty window. But when we clean up our habits, it's like wiping that window clean. Suddenly, everything looks brighter and clearer. Now, I know changing habits can be tough. We all have things we've done for years that feel comfortable, even if they're not good for us. But here's the exciting part. If we can change these habits, we'll not only live longer, but we'll also feel more alive, more connected, and more at peace. Isn't that worth a little effort? And remember, we're not talking about completely changing your life overnight. These are small changes that add up to big results. It's like saving a little money each day. At first, it doesn't seem like much, but over time, it grows into something amazing. That's what we're aiming for with these habits. Small, doable changes that will help you feel better now and for years to come. Let's talk about why habits matter so much, especially when it comes to our spiritual side. You see, habits are like the background music of our lives. We might not always notice them, but they're always there, shaping how we feel and act. And just like music can lift our spirits or bring us down, our habits can either boost our well-being or drag us down. From a spiritual perspective, our habits are super important. They're not just about what we do, they're about who we become. Every time we repeat a habit, it's like we're voting for the kind of person we want to be. Do we want to be someone who's always stressed and tired? Or someone who's calm, energetic, and open to life's wonders? Our habits are making that choice for us every single day. Now, I get it. Changing habits isn't easy. Our brains love routines, even when they're not good for us. It's like our minds are stuck in a comfy old chair. It might not be the best for our back, but it's familiar. But here's the good news. We can change. Our brains are amazing and can learn new ways of doing things. It just takes a little patience and practice. So, what are these 6 habits we need to watch out for? Well, they might not be what you expect. Some of them might even seem harmless at first glance. But trust me, they can have a big impact on how long we live and how good we feel. We'll look at things like how we eat, how we think, how we spend our time, and even how we breathe. Yes, even breathing can be a habit that affects our health. As we go through each habit, I want you to think about your own life. Do you recognize any of these habits in yourself? Don't worry if you do. We all have some habits we need to work on. The important thing is that you're here, ready to learn and make positive changes. Remember, this isn't about being perfect. It's about making small, steady improvements that add up over time. Think of it like tending a garden. You don't expect a seed to become a full-grown plant overnight. You plant it, water it, give it sunlight, and over time, it grows. That's what we're doing with our habits, planting seeds for a healthier, happier life. So, are you ready to discover these 6 life-shortening habits and learn how to change them? Great. Let's start with habit number 1. which might be something you're doing right now without even realizing its impact. You might be surprised to find out that something as simple as sitting could be shortening your life. But it's true. In our modern world, many of us spend hours and hours sitting every day. We sit at work, we sit in the car, we sit to watch TV or use our phones. It seems harmless, right? After all, we're just resting. But here's the thing. Our bodies weren't made to sit so much. When we sit for long periods, it's like we're telling our body to slow down. Our muscles relax too much, our heart doesn't have to work as hard, and our body starts to think it doesn't need to be strong or active. Over time, this can lead to all sorts of health problems. It can make our bones weaker, our muscles less strong, and even increase our risk of heart disease and other serious illnesses. But it's not just about our physical health. Sitting too much can affect our spiritual well-being too. When we're always sitting, we're often not moving, not exploring, not engaging with the world around us. It's like we're stuck in one place, both in our body and in our mind. This can make us feel sluggish, less creative, and less connected to the world and people around us. Think about how you feel after you've been sitting for a long time. Maybe you feel stiff, a bit cranky, or just blah. Now compare that to how you feel after a nice walk or some gentle stretching. It's a big difference, right? When we move our bodies, we often feel more alive, more awake, and more open to new ideas and experiences. So, how can we start to change this habit? Don't worry, I'm not going to tell you to quit your job if you work at a desk, or to throw out your TV. Instead, think about small ways you can add more movement to your day. Here's a simple tip to get started. Try setting a timer for every hour. When it goes off, stand up and move around for just a few minutes. You could do some stretches, walk around your house or office, or even dance to your favorite song. Another idea is to try standing or walking while doing things you'd normally do sitting down. Could you stand while talking on the phone? Or have a walking meeting with a colleague instead of sitting in an office? Some people even set up standing desks or treadmill desks to keep moving while they work. Remember, the goal isn't to never sit down. Sitting isn't bad in itself. It's sitting for long periods without breaks that can cause problems. By adding more movement to your day, even in small ways, you're doing something good for your body and your spirit. You're telling your body, hey, I want to be active and engaged with life. As you start to move more, pay attention to how you feel. You might notice that you have more energy, that your mind feels clearer, or that you're in a better mood. These are all signs that you're not just adding years to your life, but adding life to your years. Now, let's talk about something we all do, or should do, every day. Sleep. You might be thinking, sleep? How can that be a life-shortening habit? Well, it's not sleep itself that's the problem. It's not getting enough of it. In our busy world, sleep often gets pushed to the bottom of our to-do list. We stay up late working, watching TV, or scrolling through our phones. We think we can get by on just a few hours of sleep. But here's the truth. Not getting enough sleep can have a huge impact on our health and well-being. When we don't get enough sleep, it's like we're running our body on low battery all the time. Everything becomes harder. We might feel grumpy, have trouble concentrating, or find it hard to remember things. But it goes deeper than that. Not getting enough sleep can affect our physical health in serious ways. It can weaken our immune system, making it easier for us to get sick. It can mess with our hormones, which can lead to weight gain and other health problems. Some studies even show that people who don't get enough sleep have a higher risk of heart disease and other serious illnesses. But let's think about this from a spiritual perspective too. Sleep isn't just about resting our body, it's about refreshing our spirit. When we sleep, our mind gets a chance to process everything that happened during the day. It's like our brain is sorting through all our experiences, thoughts, and feelings, helping us make sense of them. This is why we often wake up with new insights or solutions to problems we've been struggling with. Sleep is also a time when we can connect with our deeper selves. Have you ever had a vivid dream that seemed to be telling you something important? Or woken up with a strong feeling about something you need to do? These experiences show how sleep can be a powerful time for spiritual growth and self-discovery. When we don't get enough sleep, we miss out on all of this. We might feel disconnected from ourselves and others, less creative, and less open to new ideas and experiences. It's like we're going through life with a foggy mind and a heavy heart. So, how can we change this habit and get better sleep? Here's a simple tip to start with. Try to go to bed and wake up at the same time every day, even on weekends. Our bodies love routine, and having a regular sleep schedule can help us fall asleep faster and wake up feeling more refreshed. Another helpful tip is to create a bedtime routine. This could be something as simple as reading a book, doing some gentle stretches, or listening to calm music for 30 minutes before bed. This routine signals to your body and mind that it's time to wind down and prepare for sleep. It's also important to make your bedroom a sleep-friendly space. Keep it dark, quiet, and cool. And here's a big one. Try to keep screens out of the bedroom. The blue light from phones, tablets, and computers can trick our brains into thinking it's daytime, making it harder to fall asleep. Now, I know some of you might be thinking, but I'm just not tired at night. Or, I have too much to do to go to bed early. If that's you, try this. Start small. Go to bed just 15 minutes earlier than usual. Once that feels comfortable, add another 15 minutes. Gradually, you can work up to getting the amount of sleep your body really needs. As you start to prioritize sleep, pay attention to how you feel. You might notice that you have more energy during the day, that you're in a better mood, or that you're thinking more clearly. You might even find that you're more productive, getting more done in less time because your mind is sharper. Remember, getting enough sleep isn't lazy or unproductive. It's one of the most important things you can do for your health, happiness, and spiritual well-being. It's like giving yourself a gift every night, the gift of renewal and rejuvenation. Now, let's talk about something we all do, but often don't realize how much it affects us: negative self-talk. This is the habit of saying unkind or unhelpful things to ourselves in our own minds. You know those little voices in your head that say things like, "I'm not good enough. I'll never be able to do this." Or, "Why did I say that? I'm so stupid." That's negative self-talk, and it can be a real life shortener. You might be wondering, how can thoughts in my head affect my health? Well, our thoughts are powerful. They shape how we feel about ourselves and the world around us. When we constantly tell ourselves negative things, it's like we're putting ourselves down all day long. This can lead to stress, anxiety, and even depression. And we know that these mental health issues can have a big impact on our physical health too. When we're always criticizing ourselves, our body reacts as if we're under threat. It releases stress hormones like cortisol, which over time can lead to all sorts of health problems. It can weaken our immune system, make it harder for us to sleep, and even increase our risk of heart disease. Plus, when we're always putting ourselves down, we might be less likely to take good care of ourselves in other ways, like eating healthy foods or exercising. From a spiritual perspective, negative self-talk can be really harmful too. It's like we're closing the door on our own potential. When we're always focusing on our flaws or mistakes, we might miss seeing the good things about ourselves. We might not notice our strengths or the positive impact we have on others. This can make us feel disconnected from our true selves and from the world around us. Negative self-talk can also block us from growing and trying new things. If we're always telling ourselves we can't do something or that we'll fail, we might not even try. This means we miss out on new experiences, new learning, and new ways to grow as a person. So, how can we start to change this habit? Here's a simple tip to begin with. Start noticing your self-talk. Pay attention to the things you say to yourself throughout the day. You might be surprised at how often negative thoughts pop up. Once you start noticing your negative self-talk, you can begin to challenge it. Ask yourself, is this really true? Or would I say this to a good friend? Often, we say things to ourselves that we would never say to someone we care about. Try to be as kind to yourself as you would be to a dear friend. Another helpful strategy is to practice positive self-talk. This doesn't mean ignoring problems or pretending everything is perfect. It's about being fair and kind to yourself. For example, instead of saying, "I'm so stupid, I can't do anything right," you might say, "I made a mistake, but that's okay. Everyone makes mistakes sometimes, and I can learn from this." You can also try using affirmations. These are positive statements that you repeat to yourself regularly. They might feel a bit silly at first, but they can be really powerful. Some examples could be, "I am capable and strong. I am worthy of love and respect, or I am doing my best, and that is enough. Remember, changing the way we talk to ourselves takes time and practice. Be patient with yourself. If you catch yourself being negative, don't get upset about it. Just gently remind yourself to be kinder and try again. As you start to change your self-talk, pay attention to how you feel. You might notice that you feel more confident, more relaxed, or more open to new experiences. You might find it easier to connect with others or to try new things. This is because when we're kind to ourselves, we create a sense of inner safety and support. It's like we become our own best friend and cheerleader. Changing your self-talk isn't just about feeling better, although that's important too. It's about opening yourself up to all the good things life has to offer. When we believe in ourselves and treat ourselves with kindness, we're more likely to go after our dreams, to build meaningful relationships, and to live a life that truly fulfills us. So, the next time you hear that negative voice in your head, remember, you have the power to change it. You can choose to be kind to yourself, to focus on your strengths, and to encourage yourself just like you would a good friend. It might take some practice, but it's one of the most powerful changes you can make for your health, happiness, and spiritual growth. Now, here's the habit that might surprise you: ignoring your breath. You might be thinking, what? Breathing is automatic. How can I ignore it? Well, that's exactly the point. Breathing is so natural that we often don't pay any attention to it. But the way we breathe can have a huge impact on our health and well-being. Many of us breathe in a shallow way, using only the top part of our lungs. This is especially true when we're stressed or focused on something. We might even hold our breath without realizing it. This shallow breathing can become a habit, and it's not good for us. When we don't breathe deeply, our body doesn't get all the oxygen it needs. This can make us feel tired, anxious, and even dizzy. Poor breathing habits can affect our health in serious ways. It can increase our stress levels, raise our blood pressure, and even weaken our immune system. Over time, this can contribute to all sorts of health problems, from headaches and muscle tension to more serious issues like heart disease. But breathing isn't just about getting oxygen. From a spiritual perspective, breath is deeply connected to our life force. In many spiritual traditions, breath is seen as a bridge between our body and our spirit. When we ignore our breath, it's like we're ignoring this important connection. We might feel disconnected from ourselves, less grounded, and less in tune with our inner wisdom. Deep, mindful breathing, on the other hand, can have amazing benefits. It can help us feel calmer, more focused, and more connected to ourselves and the world around us. It's like pressing a reset button for our body and mind. When we breathe deeply, we send a signal to our body that everything is okay. This can help reduce stress, lower our heart rate, and even boost our mood. So, how can we change this habit and start breathing better? Here's a simple tip to get started. Set a reminder on your phone or computer to take a few deep breaths every hour. When the reminder goes off, stop what you're doing and take 3 slow, deep breaths. Breathe in through your nose, filling your belly first and then your chest. Then breathe out slowly through your mouth. Just doing this a few times a day can make a big difference. Another helpful practice is to do some mindful breathing before bed or when you wake up. Lie down comfortably and place one hand on your belly and one on your chest. Breathe deeply, feeling your belly rise and fall with each breath. Try to do this for 5 to 10 minutes. It's a great way to relax and connect with yourself. You can also try incorporating breathing exercises into your daily routine. For example, you could practice the 4-7-8 breath. Breathe in for a count of 4, hold for 7, and breathe out for 8. This can be especially helpful when you're feeling stressed or anxious. As you start to pay more attention to your breath, you might notice some interesting things. You might become more aware of how your emotions affect your breathing, or how your breathing affects your emotions. You might find that taking a few deep breaths can help you think more clearly or feel more centered when you're facing a challenge. Remember, changing your breathing habits takes time and practice. Don't worry if your mind wanders or if you forget sometimes. Just gently bring your attention back to your breath whenever you remember. Over time, it will become more natural. By paying attention to your breath, you're not just improving your physical health, you're also nurturing your spiritual well-being. You're creating moments of pause in your day, moments to connect with yourself in the present moment. This can lead to a greater sense of peace, clarity, and connection in your life. Let's talk about a habit that's becoming more common in our busy, technology-driven world: neglecting our social connections. We might think that as long as we're getting our work done and taking care of our physical health, we're doing okay. But the truth is, our relationships with others play a huge role in our overall health and well-being. Humans are social creatures. We're wired to connect with others. But in today's world, it's easy to let our relationships slide. We might be too busy with work, or we might think that connecting on social media is enough. But real, face-to-face connections are important for our health in ways we might not realize. When we don't have strong social connections, it can affect our physical health. Studies have shown that people who are socially isolated have a higher risk of health problems like high blood pressure, heart disease, and even early death. It's not just about having people around. It's about having meaningful connections where we feel understood and supported. From a spiritual perspective, our connections with others are vital. They help us grow, learn about ourselves, and experience love and compassion. When we neglect our relationships, we might feel a sense of emptiness or disconnection, even if we can't quite put our finger on why. It's like we're missing an important part of what makes life meaningful. Strong social connections can also provide a buffer against stress and hardship. When we have people we can turn to in tough times, it can make challenges feel more manageable. This support can boost our resilience and help us bounce back from setbacks more easily. So, how can we change this habit and nurture our social connections? Here's a simple tip to start with. Make a list of the important people in your life. These could be family members, friends, or even coworkers you enjoy talking to. Then, make a plan to connect with one person from your list each week. It doesn't have to be a big event. Even a short phone call or a quick coffee meetup can make a difference. Another helpful practice is to be more present when you're with others. In our digital age, it's easy to be physically present but mentally elsewhere, checking our phones or thinking about our to-do lists. Try to give your full attention to the person you're with. Listen actively, ask questions, and show genuine interest. This can deepen your connections and make your interactions more meaningful. You could also try joining a group or club based on your interests. This could be a book club, a hiking group, a volunteer organization, or anything else that appeals to you. Sharing activities with others who have similar interests can be a great way to build new connections and deepen existing ones. Remember, nurturing relationships isn't just about what you get from others. It's also about what you give. Look for ways to support and encourage the people in your life. This could be as simple as sending a thoughtful message, offering help with a task, or just being there to listen when someone needs to talk. As you start to prioritize your social connections, pay attention to how you feel. You might notice that you feel more energized after spending time with others. You might find that you laugh more, or that you feel a greater sense of belonging and purpose. These are all signs that you're nurturing an important aspect of your health and well-being. It's important to note that this doesn't mean you need to be surrounded by people all the time, especially if you're more introverted. Quality is more important than quantity when it comes to relationships. Even a few strong, meaningful connections can have a big impact on your health and happiness. By nurturing your social connections, you're not just improving your health. You're also creating a support network, building a sense of community, and opening yourself up to new experiences and perspectives. This can lead to a richer, more fulfilling life, both physically and spiritually. Habit number 6. Holding on to grudges. Now, let's talk about a habit that might not seem obviously related to health, but can have a big impact. Holding on to grudges. We've all been hurt or wronged by someone at some point in our lives. It's natural to feel angry or upset when this happens. But when we hold on to these negative feelings for a long time, it can seriously affect our health and well-being. Holding a grudge is like carrying around a heavy backpack full of negative emotions. It weighs us down and takes up energy that we could be using for other things. When we're constantly replaying past hurts in our minds, it keeps us stuck in negative thought patterns. This can lead to chronic stress, which we know is bad for our physical health. When we hold grudges, our body reacts as if we're under constant threat. This can raise our blood pressure, weaken our immune system, and even increase our risk of heart problems. It can also affect our mental health, leading to depression, anxiety, and difficulty enjoying the good things in our lives. From a spiritual perspective, holding grudges can be really damaging. It can block us from experiencing peace, joy, and love. When we're focused on past hurts, it's hard to be fully present in the moment or to open ourselves up to new positive experiences. Grudges can also create a sense of separation between us and others, making it harder to form deep, meaningful connections. Many spiritual traditions talk about the importance of forgiveness. This doesn't mean forgetting what happened or saying that it was okay. Instead, forgiveness is about letting go of the negative emotions attached to the event. It's a gift we give ourselves, freeing us from the burden of anger and resentment. So, how can we start to change this habit and let go of grudges? Here's a simple tip to begin with. Try writing a letter to the person you're holding a grudge against. You don't have to send it. This is just for you. Write down how you feel and why you're angry or hurt. Then, try to see the situation from the other person's perspective. This can help you start to understand the situation in a new way. Another helpful practice is to focus on gratitude. When we're holding a grudge, we're often focused on what we've lost or what's been taken from us. Try to shift your focus to what you have and what you're grateful for. This can help balance out negative feelings and remind you of the good things in your life. You could also try a forgiveness meditation. Find a quiet place and close your eyes. Imagine the person you're holding a grudge against. Acknowledge your feelings of hurt or anger. Then, imagine sending them feelings of understanding and compassion. You might say to yourself, "May you be free from suffering. May you find peace." Remember, this isn't about condoning their actions. It's about freeing yourself from negative emotions. It's important to note that forgiveness is a process, not a one-time event. It might take time, and that's okay. Be patient and kind with yourself as you work through your feelings. As you start to let go of grudges, pay attention to how you feel. You might notice that you feel lighter, like a weight has been lifted off your shoulders. You might find it easier to relax or to enjoy the present moment. You might even notice improvements in your physical health, like better sleep or less tension in your body. Remember, letting go of grudges doesn't mean you have to let that person back into your life or put yourself in a position to be hurt again. It's about freeing yourself from the negative emotions that are holding you back. It's a way of taking care of yourself and creating space for more positive experiences in your life. By working on letting go of grudges, you're not just improving your health. You're also opening yourself up to more peace, more joy, and more meaningful connections with others. This can lead to a more fulfilling life, both physically and spiritually. Habit number 4, neglecting self-care. Let's talk about a habit that many of us are guilty of, neglecting self-care. In our busy lives, it's easy to put ourselves last on the list. We might think that taking care of ourselves is selfish or a luxury we can't afford. But the truth is, self-care is essential for our health, happiness, and overall well-being. When we neglect self-care, we're essentially running ourselves into the ground. It's like trying to drive a car without ever stopping for gas or maintenance. Eventually, we'll break down. This neglect can show up in many ways. Maybe we're not eating well because we're too busy to cook healthy meals. Or we're not exercising because we're too tired after work. Or we're not taking time to relax and do things we enjoy because we feel guilty about not being productive. The impact of neglecting self-care can be serious. It can lead to burnout, where we feel exhausted, unmotivated, and unable to cope with daily life. It can weaken our immune system, making us more susceptible to illnesses. It can also affect our mental health, leading to increased stress, anxiety, and depression. From a spiritual perspective, neglecting self-care can disconnect us from our inner selves. When we're always rushing and pushing ourselves, we don't have time to listen to our inner voice or connect with our deeper needs and desires. This can leave us feeling lost, unfulfilled, or like we're just going through the motions of life without really living it. So, how can we change this habit and start prioritizing self-care? Here's a simple tip to get started. Make a list of things that make you feel good, recharged, or at peace. These could be small things like taking a warm bath, reading a book, or going for a walk in nature. Then, commit to doing at least one thing from your list every day, even if it's just for 15 minutes. Another helpful practice is to set boundaries. Learn to say no to things that drain your energy or don't align with your values. This might mean turning down extra work projects, limiting time with people who bring you down, or reducing your commitments to make more time for yourself. You could also try creating a morning or evening routine that's just for you. This could include things like meditation, journaling, gentle stretching, or simply enjoying a cup of tea in silence. Having a consistent self-care routine can help you start or end your day on a positive note. Remember, self-care isn't selfish. It's necessary. When we take care of ourselves, we have more energy and patience to care for others and tackle our responsibilities. It's like putting on your own oxygen mask first on an airplane. You need to take care of yourself to be able to help others effectively. As you start to prioritize self-care, pay attention to how you feel. You might notice that you have more energy, that you're more patient with others, or that you're better able to handle stress. You might find that you're more creative, more productive, or simply happier overall. Self-care looks different for everyone, so it's important to find what works for you. What makes one person feel recharged might be draining for another. Experiment with different activities and see what leaves you feeling refreshed and energized. By making self-care a priority, you're not just improving your health. You're also honoring your own worth and creating space for personal growth and spiritual connection. This can lead to a more balanced, fulfilling life where you're not just surviving, but truly thriving. Now, let's dive into a habit that can have a profound impact on our lives: negative thinking patterns. We all have negative thoughts from time to time, but when these thoughts become a habit, they can seriously affect our health, happiness, and overall quality of life. Negative thinking patterns are like wearing dark sunglasses all the time. They color everything we see and experience in a negative way. We might always expect the worst to happen, focus on our failures while ignoring our successes, or believe that we're not good enough no matter what we do. These patterns can include things like all or nothing thinking, overgeneralizing, or always focusing on the negative aspects of a situation. The impact of negative thinking patterns on our health can be significant. When we're constantly thinking negative thoughts, our body responds as if we're under threat. This triggers our stress response, releasing hormones like cortisol and adrenaline. Over time, this chronic stress can lead to a whole host of health problems, including heart disease, digestive issues, and a weakened immune system. Negative thinking patterns can also have a big impact on our mental health. They can contribute to anxiety and depression, make it hard for us to enjoy life, and even affect our relationships with others. When we're always thinking negatively, it can become a self-fulfilling prophecy. We might not try new things or take opportunities because we've already decided they won't work out. From a spiritual perspective, negative thinking patterns can block us from experiencing joy, peace, and connection. They can keep us stuck in the past or worried about the future, preventing us from fully experiencing and appreciating the present moment. These patterns can also create a sense of separation from others and from our own inner wisdom. So, how can we start to change these negative thinking patterns? Here's a simple tip to begin with. Start noticing your thoughts. Pay attention to the running commentary in your head throughout the day. When you catch yourself thinking negatively, pause and ask yourself, is this thought really true? Is it helpful? Another helpful practice is to challenge your negative thoughts. When you have a negative thought, try to find evidence that contradicts it. For example, if you think, I never do anything right, try to think of times when you've succeeded or done something well. This can help balance out your thinking and make it more realistic. You could also try keeping a gratitude journal. Each day, write down 3 things you're grateful for. This practice can help shift your focus from what's wrong to what's good in your life. Over time, this can help rewire your brain to notice more positive things. Mindfulness meditation can also be a powerful tool for changing negative thinking patterns. By learning to observe your thoughts without judgment, you can start to see them for what they are, just thoughts, not facts. This can help you detach from negative thoughts and not get caught up in them. Remember, changing thinking patterns takes time and practice. Be patient and kind with yourself. If you catch yourself falling into old patterns, don't beat yourself up about it. Just gently redirect your thoughts to a more positive or balanced perspective. As you start to shift your thinking patterns, pay attention to how you feel. You might notice that you feel more optimistic, more confident, or more at peace. You might find it easier to solve problems or to bounce back from setbacks. You might even notice improvements in your physical health, like better sleep or less tension in your body. By working on changing negative thinking patterns, you're not just improving your mental health. You're also opening yourself up to more joy, more opportunities, and a deeper connection with yourself and others. This can lead to a more fulfilling and meaningful life, both physically and spiritually. Let's talk about a habit that many of us have but often don't realize: ignoring our intuition. You know that gut feeling you sometimes get? That little voice inside that tries to guide you? That's your intuition, and it's more important than you might think. In our modern, rational world, we're often taught to rely on logic and facts and to dismiss our feelings or hunches. We might think that following our intuition is silly or unreliable. But the truth is, our intuition can be a powerful tool for guiding us towards health, happiness, and fulfillment. When we constantly ignore our intuition, we're cutting ourselves off from a valuable source of wisdom. It's like having a built-in GPS but never turning it on. This can lead us to make decisions that look good on paper but don't feel right to us. We might stay in jobs or relationships that drain us, or pursue goals that don't truly align with our values. Ignoring our intuition can have a real impact on our health. It can create a sense of inner conflict or unease that leads to stress and anxiety. We might find ourselves feeling stuck or unfulfilled, even if we can't explain why. This ongoing stress and dissatisfaction can affect our physical health, leading to problems like headaches, digestive issues, or trouble sleeping. From a spiritual perspective, our intuition is often seen as a connection to our higher self or to a greater wisdom. When we ignore it, we're cutting ourselves off from this deeper source of guidance. This can leave us feeling disconnected, lost, or like we're living a life that's not truly our own. So, how can we start to change this habit and tune into our intuition? Here's a simple tip to begin with. Start paying attention to how your body feels when you're making decisions. Do you feel a sense of excitement and expansion, or do you feel a tightness or heaviness? These physical sensations can be clues from your intuition. Another helpful practice is to create quiet time for yourself each day. This could be through meditation, journaling, or simply sitting in silence for a few minutes. When we quiet our busy minds, it becomes easier to hear our inner voice. You could also try asking yourself questions and paying attention to your immediate response. Before looking at pros and cons or asking others for advice, check in with yourself. What does your gut tell you? What feels right? This doesn't mean you should ignore practical considerations, but your intuition can be a valuable part of your decision-making process. It's also important to practice trusting your intuition in small ways. Start with low-stakes decisions and see what happens when you follow your gut. As you build trust in your intuition, you may find it easier to rely on it for bigger decisions. Remember, tuning into your intuition is a skill that can be developed. It might feel strange or uncomfortable at first, especially if you're used to ignoring it. Be patient with yourself and keep practicing. As you start to listen to your intuition more, pay attention to how you feel. You might notice that you feel more aligned with your true self, more confident in your decisions, or more at peace with your life path. You might find that things flow more easily, or that you encounter fewer conflicts and obstacles. By tuning into your intuition, you're not just potentially improving your decision-making. You're also deepening your connection with yourself and with the world around you. This can lead to a more authentic, fulfilling life where you're living in harmony with your true nature and purpose. As we wrap up our exploration of these 6 life-shortening habits, it's important to remember that change doesn't happen overnight. Each of these habits, sitting too much, not getting enough sleep, negative self-talk, ignoring our breath, neglecting social connections, and holding on to grudges, can have a significant impact on our health and well-being. But the good news is, we have the power to change them. Remember, small changes can make a big difference over time. You don't have to overhaul your entire life all at once. Start with one habit that resonates with you the most. Maybe it's setting a reminder to move more throughout the day or practicing deep breathing for a few minutes each morning. Whatever it is, commit to that small change and build from there. As you work on these habits, be patient and kind with yourself. Change isn't always easy, and there might be setbacks along the way. That's okay. What matters is that you keep trying, keep learning, and keep moving forward. Pay attention to how you feel as you make these changes. You might notice that you have more energy, that you're sleeping better, or that you feel more connected to yourself and others. These positive changes can motivate you to keep going and to tackle other habits you want to change. Remember, taking care of your health isn't just about living longer. It's about living better. It's about feeling good in your body, having peace in your mind, and experiencing joy in your spirit. When we take care of ourselves in these ways, we're better able to show up for our loved ones, pursue our passions, and make a positive impact in the world. So, I encourage you to take what you've learned here and put it into action. Start today. Choose one small change you can make and commit to it. Your future self will thank you. Thank you for joining me on this journey of exploration and growth. Here's to your health, your happiness, and a life full of vitality and joy. Remember, every day is a new opportunity to make choices that support your well-being. You have the power to shape your health and your life. Believe in yourself, trust the process, and keep moving forward. Your best life is waiting for you.